Alright, welcome back to Black Lodge Trivia Night. This is Art, and we are once again continuing our Lord of the Rings Online book quests. We're up to Volume 4, Book 8. You can see we are on the edges of Mordor. Story-wise, Aragorn is leading his feint against the Black Gate in order to buy Frodo and Sam more time to get up to Mount Doom. So getting into the thick of it, we're coming to the climax of the classic story. And we are in Book 8, and the current quest is to divern to the northern edge of camp of the host, where the road leaves the encampment and passes into Dagorlad. Aragorn has asked you to see if Divern has readied the men to march. We have Aragorn's camp. Obviously, it's called Camp of the Host. And if you don't know the story is essentially like they're throwing it out there. You know, this is probably a suicide mission, but we're going to go smash face first into the gate. Sauron's going to think that's such a bold move that they must have the Ring of Power and hopefully focus all their attention on us. That is the plan. If you know the stories, that's, not surprising. So let's, so crazy. I mean, I say this all the time. Like, I look at my OBS meters, and what I'm seeing on my device and what I'm seeing in OBS, it doesn't matter. Anyway, let's talk to Dervun and Pippin are staring out at the road ahead.
This road will take us to the very gate of Mordor.
The men stir with restlessness, but they will obey their liege, whether he be Eomer, or Aragorn. Others there are too who have joined this host in cause of allied friendship. If they have not turned back now, I believe they will never abandon us. I have shared words with Peregrine Took here, and he too has had a courage about him. All right.
This is the road to Mordor. No one could mistake it for anything else.
Looks as I would have expected it. Look, had I ever wanted to fill my heart with fright and my mind with unease at the considering, and I did not. Dirvun has had some kind words to say concerning my courage, and I did not want to offend him by disagreeing, but I think he sees what is not there. If I were truly brave, would I feel so frightened at the prospect of taking this road? Certainly not. But Aragorn believes that we have to do this, and I have smarts enough to know he is more wise than I am. If he says there's no other way, this hobbit will not gainsay him. This is the road we must take. And that is the very definition of courage. It's not feeling afraid, obviously. It's feeling afraid, but knowing what you have to do and getting things done even with that fear. As, most adults already know. It's not like, oh my god, did he just crack the code? No, obviously not.
Are the men ready to march?
You report the ranger's words, and Aragorn nods grimly. It pains me that such a course is necessary, but I take satisfaction in knowing the great loyalty and courage of the men with whom I march. Mithrandir calls to you with concern in his voice.
Worry gnaws at me, my friend.
You were at the Council of the Captains, and you heard the arguments for and against this march to the Black Gate. You must know of its importance, as do I. But still I'm troubled. Before battle consumed Minas Tirith, I spoke with Faramir on his watch in Ithilien, and he told me that his men encountered 2 hobbits in the wild, Frodo and Sam. Briefly he held them, but he did not hinder their errand over long and soon released them to their purpose. But a third was there, and he served our friends as their guide, Gollum. Faramir spoke against the creature, but Frodo believed he could be trusted and intended to follow him through a secret pass into Mordor. The pass is called Cirith Ungol. It's an evil place. I know enough of that pass to know that danger lurks there in the darkness, and I fear that Frodo may trust his guide too readily. Alas, that our roads ran apart. A fortnight has passed since Frodo and Sam departed from Faramir's care. My wondering mind worries at how little we know of their fates, and conjures terrible scenarios of what could have befallen. What has happened to our friends, and what has happened to the ring? Did I just screw that up? So they're giving me the option to either experience it or read the shortened version. But I don't know... I would experience it. I'm all for experiencing it. I just don't know how to... Oh, the shortened account. There we go. That's the shortened account, but how do I get the longer account? Yeah, let's try it. See what happens. Oh, there's Gollum. We're going to be playing as Gollum? I appreciate the shortened account if, like, you're on your 15th character and you just go, yeah, I know.
Up the stairs. Gollum. And then the tunnel. Yes. This way, good hobbitses. Yes.
Thank you for bringing us this far, Smeagol. I know it cannot have been easy for you to come this way again or to creep so near to the city below, but you have done right by your promise. Just a little further, you said? I'm ready to put these stairs behind us, and then we'll need to rest if we can. I am so very tired, and Sam may not say it, but he must be as well. Come on, Sam. We're nearly at the top. Tired. Me too, Sam. Oh, I've had my fill of stairs, Mr. Frodo. Me too, Sam. Me too. What was it Gollum said at the top of the stairs? Was that the top of the stairs? A tunnel, he said. That's right. I don't care much for tunnels. Stairs, the tunnels, and Mordor. Who would have thought we'd make it there, Mr. Frodo? I think we're almost at the top. I can't believe it. At last. The tower. There's a tower above the pass. I don't like the look of that at all. Your secret way is guarded after all, Gollum. I suppose you knew that all along, leading us into a trap, are you? He's right, Sam. Every way into Mordor will be watched in some fashion. Look, we can rest over here out of the wind. Sam and I need to rest from the climb before we move on to this tunnel you've mentioned, Smeagol. I'm exhausted, and I do not want us to pass beneath the tower without recovering whatever strength we may. You should lie down and get some sleep as well, Smeagol. We will all need our rest for what lies ahead, I imagine. Lie down and get some sleep as the nice master requested. Try and get some sleep, Smeagol. I wonder when we'll find water again. There isn't any up here as far as I can tell. Do you think there will be any in Mordor? Orcs must drink, surely.
Sleep, precious.
They do, but not the sort of drink we would
For
want.
a little while.
And filling our bottles is even more important. But I haven't heard not so much as a drip or a trickle. Faramir said not to drink any water in the Morgul Vale, so it doesn't matter. He said not to drink any water flowing out of Imlad Morgul, not into it. Still, I wouldn't trust it, not unless I was dying of thirst.
That should be enough. Yes, precious. Time to slip away.
Sneak to the east toward the tower, Precious.
What do you want, precious? Leave me alone.
No, Precious, don't go this way. We mustn't hurt the nice master. We swore, Precious. We swore to serve the nice master. Don't try and hurt him. Must not. Voice acting.
Weak. Do not listen to him. Gollum. Smeagol is back, the coward.
We shouldn't leave the hobbitses, Gollum. They trust us, they do, and we swore on the Precious. Nice master trusts Smeagol. Yes, he's a friend to us, a good friend. We swore to serve the master of the Precious.
Once we have the precious, we will be the master. Leave us alone, Smeagol. This is the only way. Gollum.
Please don't go inside the tunnel. We can't bring the hobbitses to her. She'll eat them. Yes, she's not just the fat one, but the master too. And Smeagol can't do that to them. No, Precious, no. Don't go to her.
She won't want the precious, though. No, indeed. Gollum.
Ungol.
Now what was the right way? Gollum. Oh.
I have one ability, and it is murder. All right. Although I always wondered, like, wouldn't it have been simpler just to kill them, like, when they slept or something like that? I know they sort of tried that in the movie, but, like, I don't know. I mean, to feed them to a giant spider, then have to get the ring from the giant spider. I don't know if we're having one of those Ben Affleck in the commentary of the asteroid movie. Armageddon, where he's like, wouldn't it be easier to train astronauts to drill a hole than to teach drillers to be astronauts? And then Michael Bay's like, why don't you shut up? Answer for yourself, J.R. Tolkien. Why is the plan not keep it simple, stupid? I'm guessing that whatever we're going toward is up here in the giant glowing area of the map.
Almost there, precious. Almost there. You remember poor Smeagol, yes? Not tasty, no, not tasty at all. But Smeagol, he brings you tasty foods, yes? They are almost here. A gift, yes, a gift for you. And then we will be free of our promise. And the precious will be ours. There is no other way, Smeagol. No other way.
Okay. So this is something I've, probably come up in some point in these conversations and the playthrough, and something I think a lot about. And it's gotten more pronounced as we get deeper into the stories here. In that, there's no reason for our characters to have any idea what's going on with Fellowship. So when you show us interludes like that, it's sort of like that's the story, so we got to show it to the players, right? And I'm definitely of two minds, as, the answer is yes. But I want the answer to be no. Right? The story is the story, and the cutaways, it's... And I don't say this...
I guessed that Frodo and Gollum would meet before the end.
And I don't mean this as a pejorative, but it's definitely fan servicey. And at least say with Minas Tirith, I did not care for but what you just saw was through the Palantir and what could be. I don't like that technique where it's all a dream, so we can just undo anything crazy we just showed you. But I did get that they were trying to show you both sides of an important part of the book. But there's stuff here Frodo and Sam's story is not, for all intents and purposes, literally our story. Our story is here with Aragorn, and we're winging a prayer kind of stuff, hoping that the stories are still on track to in lockstep from the character's perspective. But it's hard to know. I mean, again, the right thing to do is you show it, because people playing this deep in the game, they're going to be huge fans of the original material. So, anyway, in my heart, I guess that Frodo and Gollum would meet before the end, but I hope that Frodo does not trust blindly. If he remains alert to the possibility of deceit, perhaps he can prevent it before it leads our friends into harm. Or has it already done so? It's been 2 weeks since they left Heneth Anun, and still there have been no word. If they fell prey to some treachery of Gollum, surely we would have heard by now. Cirith Ungol. Mithrandir's voice trails away as his eyes search the horizon. After a moment, his attention returns, and a smile briefly illuminates his features. I should not have given in to these fears, Black Lodge. The ring remains out of Sauron's grasp. Let that keep our hearts afloat and allay some of our worries. For if Frodo were betrayed to Sauron, I feel certain that the Dark Lord would make use of the ring at once, and we would know the end has arrived. That's not happened. The ring and Frodo have not been seized by the Dark Lord. Every step that Frodo takes towards the fire kindles our hopes.
My thoughts are also with Frodo and Sam.
And I fear for their safety in the company of Gollum, but I agree with Mithrandir that they must still be alive, for we would know if Sauron had the ring. But my reasoning is not of the wizard. I traveled with Frodo and Sam for almost 4 months, and we have had many adventures and braved many dangers. And even after so many shared hardships, I think Master Gamgee had only just begun to warm up to me, and perhaps did not yet entirely trust this Strider. He will not take his eyes off Gollum, even if Frodo perhaps will. I do not think Gollum will be able to take advantage of our Samwise, even if he thinks he can. They'll be fine, inasmuch as any might be whose misfortune it is to journey into the Black Lands.
This is likely to be our last battle.
It is our misfortune that we must march to the Black Gate with little hope of our own survival. So many good men have placed their lives in my hands, trusting that this course is important. I believe that it is, but it does not make the burden of that choice any lighter. Some of my kinsmen are deep in thought, contemplating the roads that have led them here, while they ready themselves for the road to come. Will you speak with some of them and put into words how grateful I am for what they've done? Honestly, it might be better coming from you, but I get it. This is likely to be our last battle, and I want them to know that I appreciate their service not only as their captain or their king, but as their friend and kinsman. This may be my last chance to tell them so, and I do not want to miss that opportunity. But I'm going to miss that opportunity, because I'm going to give it to you to do. And holy God, I just had a horse land on me. All right. Doer of Great Deeds. Level 117 captain, I guess? All right, so talk to Lothrandir south of the Rise in the camp of the host. As you approach, Lothrandir surfaces from his thoughts of home. Once I spoke to you of my travels, Black Lodge, of my adventures in the wooded lands of Enedwaith and the rocky heights of Thror's Coombe. But they are dwarfed now by the memory of these last few weeks, from the dungeons of Isengard to the fighting on the Pelennor. Our journey has been full of hardship. My mind turns now to my home at Surikiela in Forestshell. I do not think I will see it again, but I am at ease knowing that I have done what I can for the snowmen, and they will persevere as they have always done. I will follow Aragorn wherever he leads. We need to talk to, there we go, Radnir. Okay, as you approach, he emerges from his thoughts as well. We've been through a lot together, Black Lodge, and most of it was unpleasant. I'm not complaining, not really. If it was to be easy, it need not have been the Dunedain's task to face it. I said as much to Elwith once, but she's gone away and will never return. Do you think that the folk of Middle-earth will appreciate everything Aragorn has done? I do not expect our names to be remembered, but if there is any justice, Aragorn will be remembered fondly, and well by the people of Gondor and Rohan at least. Radnir is silent for a long while, and you are about to leave him when he speaks at last. It seems there will be no peaceful tavern for us at the end of this road, Black Lodge. After everything we've gone through, I suppose I'm not really that surprised. Talk to Coronir. As you approach, Coronir breaks free of his reverie. I watched the departure of the faint-hearted, and I felt no scorn for them, though there was a time in my life when I might not have understood their choice. I see that their path, too, was in service of the host of the West. Our own road takes us to Mordor, for we have the courage to go that way. I'm not afraid of Mordor or its Black Gate. Neither am I afraid of the Dark Lord or his armies. I'm not afraid of Mordorith, no matter what he names himself. I'm not afraid of death, for I've lived a life enriched by friendship and laughter, and I know that endings must always come, soon or late. I am made strong by the love of my friends and the memories I carry with me, and no orc or wraith or beast can conquer that strength. At long last, I'm at peace. I will follow Aragorn to the end with an unburdened heart. Talk to Glad. Returns from his thoughts. Have you ever broken a promise? Glad looks at you sadly and holds up a finger to halt your reply. I have sought to live my life with honor, making good upon my promises and the oaths I have taken. I swore an oath to aid Aragorn, my chief, in all things, and I have done so as best I could. That oath has taken me far from my home and to the very doorstep of Mordor. But my heart remains on the shores of Lake Nenual. I promised to return when my duty in the Southlands was done, but it does not seem that any of us will return, after all. What were the words of Gwyndeth? That the return of Elendil's kingdom would be worth some measure of sorrow? Did she speak the truth? I do not know, even now. Alright, heading back to Aragorn. As Aragorn surfaces from his thoughts and turns to face you.
None of us are free of worry, but still we move forward.
None of us are free of worry or free of regret, but still we move forward in spite of those feelings. That's all we can do. That's what we must do.
I will give the order for the host of the West to begin its march.
But I need you to go forward in the vanguard, leading the way and making safe our passage. The foes arrayed against us have been commanded to let us pass, but I would not be surprised if the more ambitious among their number think to increase their own fame or notoriety by slowing our progress. Defeat these foes and any other beasts that threaten, and look for Langlas in the ruin of Hyrondir, northeast of here. You will know where else to scout in advance of the host. Once you've aided Langlas, rejoin us north of the Black Gate, and we will prepare for the final throw. Okay, defeat foes in the No Man Lands. Here we go. Going in officially for one last ride. I'm a big fan of that narrative device. It's like, I aim to misbehave. The whole, like, Mal speech at the end of the story. It's like, hey, we're going in one more time. It's going to cost us everything, but goddamn it, it's worth it. Who's with me? And everybody's like, hell yeah, I'm with you. That is a good narrative beat to have cap off your story. while since I fought like a waste claw. Okay, I think I've actually found Legolas in the ruins of so-and-so, and then... So I think while I make my way wherever that might be, I'm just gonna kill everything for this Creatures of the Mire and culling the Blighted, or whatever it is. I thought actually they were the same quest. It turns out there's 2 quests where you gotta, like, thin the herd. The question is, though, where am I going for Book 8? Okay, so it's in these ruins up here, so I gotta make my way over there. Build my morale back up. The enemies aren't too tough, but I wasn't really paying too close attention. I was dipping down to like 3,000 or 4,000 left, so get it back up. Finish off the last boar. Okay, we got the boars, we got the wolves, we need Crabane, Marsh Toad. We got a bunch of stuff we still need, but we'll skip the boars for now. Did I not, okay, I interrupted it with the boot. Did I not get it with the shield slam? I guess not. Finish off the waist claws. Do I need bears? I guess so. And their signatures, so I gotta actually pay attention to that. So let me work on getting my health back up so that I can roll right into the waist bear. Again, some not insignificant input lag. Not the worst I've experienced, but here we go. Oop, let's get shield going. Go, go, go. Got greedy is what happened. I was trying to pump up the damage over the times. I'm like, my health is in decent shape. Let me just go nuts doing that. And yeah, almost died. Do I need more of these? How many more of these do I need? One more. This is the last one. How many bears? We need one more bear and then a couple of scrubland crawlers. Do I need this thing? No. Let's hit this bear. Here we go. Okay, so I can't get too greedy. I've got to now focus on... Put 3 bleeds on him, so now I need to fucking input lag. Okay, so that takes care of the bears. Yeah, now these should be the ruins that we need to... Is that the guy right there? Nope, that's a curious orc. Now, I don't know if I've seen the scrubland crawlers. I'm trying to figure out where I am on the map. Am I want to say I'm just north of where I need to go. I just can't seem to... I'm not sure why I'm having so much trouble finding my contact here. Assuming I'm in the right place. Okay, so, okay, I have to go inside. I thought it was the other red ring. Okay. Oh, it's sort of got a little pocket of resistance here. Okay, that's cool. Sickly light plays over the stones of Hyrondir, and the air smells foul.
This is a dead place. An empty place. I do not like it.
There will be many places such as these as we get nearer to Mordor. How could anyone live here? The answer to that question is a simple one, I suppose. No one does live here. Not truly. Not good folk, at any rate. I've heard tell from the rangers of Ithilien that there are a few sites throughout the wastes in which evil folk dwell. These places should be scouted before the host passes near. Find Doom Boha in the Noman lands, and Dol Akarn, and Andohir's Folly and Daggerlad, and defeat any enemies that may endanger the passage of the host. Once the way is saved, the host of the West will assemble outside the Black Gate, and we will see what awaits us there. Okay, so find Doom Boha in the No Man Lands. Find the road to Dol Akarn. Find Ondahir's Folly, and defeat foes in the No Man. Okay, let's go for it. Okay, so there's there, there. Okay. All right. So now, are the curious orcs targets for the quest, or is it just, They are. All right. Guess anything's on the table. All right, let's just hit them all. Okay, I was gonna say I hadn't seen any crawlers yet, but there we go. And we need 3 of these. so that's... Okay, that's Legolas, so we won't worry about that now. Now again, anything's counting towards those 14 creatures, so I'm just going to keep going. But maybe now that I got the scrub whatevers, I'll start focusing more on getting to the areas on the map, and then I'm sure I'll have to kill things there, so... Let's make our way to Andahar's Folly. What's red? Remnants of... Oh, that's the, treasures we're supposed to be picking up. Okay. The artifacts. The reddening sky. I imagine that's where we're going. Holy shoo. Roving threat. I'm probably not going to do this. It's definitely a fellowship, so I'm going to decline. Yeah, no, 784,000. No. And that's a fellowship. Well, fellowship, that's 6, but still, that's, that's crazy. Could a party of 6 take down 780,000 morale? I feel like with, paying attention, I could probably do 30 or 40 on my... So, but 6, it's not even halfway there. I guess you need a healer to keep you going, but... Reeks still of blood and death even after all these years. Sometimes when I do that, safeguard, not safeguard, the next one. When I do that shield spear, sometimes I'm doing 2,000 healing, and every once in a while, celebration of skill, and then sometimes it's popping 4,000. I wonder, is that, or 3,000, is that like a critical success? Is that just, oh shit. Okay, let me get out of here. So I need to find Doom Boha and find the road to Dol Akarn. Right, so we want to head east. This is, Angmar felt bleak. But you couldn't, because of the topography, you can't see very far in a lot of the places. And like Karn Doom and stuff, like they feel like cities, you know, you can tell civilization was once here. This feels like a wasteland. Like a nuclear bomb cleared it out at one point. This feels worse. And at the time, I thought Angmar was just about as desolate as you could get. But here you can see the expanse of the destruction and the waste. They've always, in this game, they've always nailed, like, the art direction. And art direction just doesn't mean getting the interior of the elven buildings correct, right? Because that's the flourish and the, you know, Dol Akarn once towered above the plain, but now it's the base remains. But, it's also knowing what this is supposed to look like as well. I'm getting wrecked by... Okay, so I guess I just needed to find that's what it was, and now I'm going to make my way back. Weird that there's a mailbox there, so I'll head south. Yeah, it's not just knowing what it's supposed to look like, you know, when you're given, like, let your creativity run wild, the elven interiors. It's also knowing that Angmar is going to feel different than Mordor. Or outside the Black Gate, and then Mordor itself is going to feel different than outside the Black Gate, and each one has to be worse, and being able to nail that in the details, even though on the surface it would seem like the details would be quite similar. Holy God, this is so impressive. Such an achievement. And as much as I bitch about lag inputs, I mean, I hope, again, if it's not obvious by now that I love this game. Like in one of the last sessions, I was talking about this game almost being 20 years old, which is, again, basically the same amount of time I've been a father. You know, like, this game has been... Not that it's the same as having kids, but it's, you know, it's been in my life for a while. And I hope the team, as it's evolved over the years, is really proud of this. This is such an accomplishment. And again, not that other large open world MMO games aren't accomplishments, but this had a very specific task that, much like adapting the books to film, as Peter Jackson did, everybody said it's not possible. On some level, I would have to believe that, can you adapt this expansive, beloved world to an MMO? That also should not be possible, and they have absolutely done it. Like, seriously. I mean, what do you say in response to that? That is awe-inspiring, for a lack of a better... Not the good awe, right? going on in this swamp? There's something up. There's some encampment up there. Not sure where it would be. Okay, so now we need to... Let me double check the map because we need to get here. But I'm nervous that I'm not going to be able to get across the mountain. So I almost feel like I need to go around. Maybe I should have done that first and then made my way down the hill. Because going down the hill is as easy as breaking your legs. Snapping some femurs. What's that? It'd be interesting if this is a way to cut through, but I'm gonna back off for now and try the overland route first. Now, I don't know the lore to know what was Mordor before Sauron, made it home base. Was it like once a thriving area of this or that or something else and it was just decimated and corrupted? Was it always something like this? I mean, it must have been something, because we've got these look like elvish ruins sprinkling the landscape, and they're all destroyed and laid to rubble. But was that because of the passage of time, or was that just because Sauron stepped in and just wrecked it? But it implies that it was something. Just cut up and cut through? Do I need to circle the whole edge of the rubble, or can I get over the wall right here? Ooh, it may not let me make that jump. Haradrim warriors are encamped in Doom Boha, and they prepare for combat. Find Aragorn on the northern side of the Slag Hills outside the Black Gate. Where's Legolas? Is he still back? Let's return to Legolas. So I think he's going to be back at the old camp. Get that ding, baby. I did not actually, I wasn't paying attention. I was going to say get that 150,000 experience. But, good stuff. All right, we are now officially level 106, which is a little higher than, what's yellow? The howling. What's the howling? Find the source of the howling sound. We're a little over, like a lot of the creatures I've seen look like they're like 105, so we're kind of like comfortably in the zone, if that makes sense. Which should help make this hopefully go a little smoother. Oh. You found the source of the howling sound. It's not a fearsome beast at all, but a scared and possibly injured hound. Does he belong to the Rangers? You should try and calm it down and return to Mablung. Easy, boy. Easy. Alright, heads for there. Ruins of Gondor. So, okay, so this, like, noble house. So, like, this... Oh, shoot. That does imply, you know, so this was sort of Gondor at some point, right? Farmhouse ruins. Yeah, this was once, I guess, Gondor. So this is like scout the northern something or other, but I'm not sure. Can I get all the way up the hill? Is this even the right spot? I thought it was. I thought there was once a ring there. Alright, so this is the other area we need to creatures of the mire. So we'll take care of. It's not a ton, so we'll just take care of it. Are these worms part of it? They are. Okay. Sometimes these are... Nope, they're not. But see, sometimes they're signatures. This one's not, so... Now, I wonder if that would actually count as multiple toads or just the one. I mean, it's only one actual marsh toad, so I guess that's it. Okay, we need toads, marsh avancs, which are the worms, marsh flies, and corpse flies. the messed up gambit so I can move on. There we go. Still not firing off the gambit. There we go. Okay, so what do we have left? We've got a worm and one group of toads. Oh, I thought I saw... No, they were all toads. I was about to say, I thought I saw a worm, but... Don't need any of those. Nope. Okay, so that's it for that. Now we just need one more worm. Now, why is it telling me... There. No, that's a toad. I mean, part of me is like, do I just have to go back to where I was and find that one? Like, hopefully it respawned, but I don't recall where I was on the map exactly when I encountered that one worm. But it seems like they are. It seems like they are far less common than literally everything else. Swarms, flies. Just need. A vunk. Was it a little up the hill? Was I just can't remember. So what I might do is I might, you know, while we're making our way around, let me check out what this hill is. Yeah, we'll, you know, we only need the one. We'll hit it up on our way. We won't forget that one last thing. But let me start making my way towards whatever the other hill is. Gonna be that hill right there, maybe? Yeah, let me check the map again. Okay, I just realized there was actually something wrong with my microphone there. I guess it's good I caught it. Only after a couple minutes. But, yeah, I wish... So I misread the map. I thought I was, heading towards a hill to scout it. Turns out they gave me a ring and a little area there for collecting artifacts. I wish they would give me a ring for the worm. Instead of that huge blue patch, because... it's quite a big patch to have to explore. Okay, so we scouted the northern no man lands. Red is remnants. Okay, so that's more... more of the artifacts to collect, which we're getting close on. I don't know... Now, why is this purple? You know, there's a little bit of a gap between some of the chunks that I'm recording this on, and in between, they released a new update, like a firmware update for the Rodecaster Duo, probably the whole thing, probably, I imagine. And I was watching Black Lodge Games do a stream with Sandy Peterson. You know, again, at the time it's recording and the time this goes up, there's a big gap, but they did an interesting sort of... I don't want to call it like a flat-out criticism, because it's when you really love something and you're like, look, dude, man, like, I love this so much and I want it to work, and I feel like it's really, you know, you're wishing it the best, and so you're like, you know, here's just something that jumps out at me. And I thought they made a very good point about RuneQuest, about how they, like, I used to have RuneQuest. I got rid of it all because I'll try and remember to link the video. But at the beginning of their stream with Sandy Peterson, they have audio issues. They have some echoing and things like that. And finally, one of the guys, I don't know who the guy's, but one of the guys is like, wait, let me check this, because, and then it turns out, like, you know, when they did the update, some settings like reverted or something like that. And so in my case, what happened was it switched what the default microphone was. And yeah, so I was not getting any audio for about 3 minutes on my microphone. Not that I was saying all that much, but it's just one of those things. Every time, I think I've said this before, like, some of this stuff is actually harder than it seems. And it was harder than I expected. And I, you know, have some familiarity with, like, doing production and things like that. So I know that it can be tricky, but even so, you know, like, just about before every time we record, I spend half hour, 40 minutes just trying to double check everything. And when I can't, when I have to just come in hot, butt clenching, to say the least, you know, because you're like, please, hope this works. And most of the time, you know, and that's the thing, like, most of the time it should, because there's no reason why it shouldn't, you know, it's, but video production, all this kind of stuff, definitely in my experience is one of those, like, if it can go wrong, it will. Like Murphy's Law kind of thing, so. So yeah, I, like, you know, because I did not think to check, that it switched my microphone inputs. And all of a sudden I was, like, looking at my meters, and I'm like, I'm hearing myself in my earpiece, but I'm not seeing anything, you know, and you're like, oh shit. Of course, back in the old Ultima 5 days, or Darklands, when I was recording those, Darklands was the worst. That was just straight up, I'm an idiot user error, where I would, like, forget to turn the map off. So I'd set myself, so that was just, like, again, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Like, I had set up a method, a presentation that opened myself up to make a stupid error, where I forget to turn the map off, and then nobody sees anything I'm doing for about 15 minutes. You know, I used to leave my microphone muted until I figured out how to work around that. When I learned how to, you know, recognize that, my microphone, you know, now I can hear it in my earpiece, but that took a little while to figure out. How to make sure I could hear that I was talking in my earpiece. And then when I muted it, I couldn't. And part of that was realizing, like, I can't use audio channel 1 or headphone channel 1 on Rodecaster Duo. If I use channel 2, it doesn't have the sort of same high level clearance. You know, like, channel 1 is sort of like the producer's channel. You know, if you're producing the whole show and you need to know this, that, and the other thing. Let's scout the blight since I'm here. So that makes sure, like, you can always hear everything. But if you're on channel 2, you know, you only want to be able to hear yourself, or, you know, you want to be able to hear certain things and not other things, or the producer might want you to hear certain things, not other things. And so, since you're not like a universal hear everything user, it was actually exactly what I was looking for. But it just didn't occur to me to figure that out. All right. So we scouted the blight. Why did that turn orange? I have no idea. It says complete 2 quests for Legolas while exploring the No Man Lands. I have no idea. Alright, well, let's, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna head west. I'm gonna sort of take a lap around the blue, just see if I can find one of those Avanks. Do I have other quests that I just don't, I mean, obviously, yes, I've got a bunch of ones over there, but... Like, when that whole area turned orange, I'm like, did I miss a quest where I need to, like, pick flowers or do something? Waste Claw? No. Like, I can't tell you the number of times I've been about to record something with Matt and Patrick, flip on my camera, and no signal comes in. Just nothing at all. Oh, there's one right there. Let's get this done. And that was always frustrating because then, like, that means I gotta climb under my desk. I gotta unplug and then plug it back. It's just like, oh my god, why can't this just work every time? Okay, let's go check in now in the book quest with Aragorn. Yeah. And I say all that because, like, in some levels, like, it's never been easier, you know, to do this stuff. Like, the cameras, you know, just USB capture if you want to go that route. OBS is complicated, but it's free and, like, you know, anybody can take the time to learn it. I mean, I might talk a little less because there's a lawnmower outside, so hopefully my noise gate picks it up. Blocks it out, I mean. Somebody out there is like, why can't he pretend there's a lawnmower going all the time and talk less? I mean, I guess, you know what, here's my thoughts. I think maybe this is orange because that's the no man lands, and these areas are not, so if I have to do another quest in that area, I guess. I'm making that up, I have no idea. Kind of curious what that is. Is that Narcos? An entrance to it? Aragorn sees you as you approach and beckons. Why am I hitting the wrong... There we go.
We have come to it at last.
Climb to the top of the slag hill and look to the south. What waits for us at the Black Gate of Mordor? Look at that. All right. Yeah, let's look. The field before the Black Gate of Mordor is empty and quiet.
Sauron is waiting.
What did you see from atop the Slag Hill? Aragorn listens to your account. All was quiet and still? I see, and I'm not surprised. Sauron is waiting. I do not take the empty calm before the gate to be fact, and neither should you. The Dark Lord's armies are arrayed before us, although we see them not. He waits to unleash them, for he wants to see what we will do.
There is no sense in delaying what must come.
There must be a parley. I will go forth with a small group of my most trusted allies and call for Sauron's surrender. I'd be honored if you would accompany me, my friend. I do not expect the Dark Lord to give in to our demands, but still I must offer him the opportunity. Speak to me when your preparations are made and we'll go together.
Are you ready to go?
Be well prepared, for we are on the very doorstep of evil, and there may be no coming back from this.
We have come to the very doorstep of Mordor to challenge the Dark Lord Sauron. There can be no turning back now.
All is silent and still, but I do not trust the emptiness. Do not be fooled by the quiet. There are eyes upon us, though we see them not. Let us ride nearer, and I will call for Sauron's surrender. We go now to treat with Mordor. I have asked all of you to accompany me so every land that opposes Sauron will be represented. It is time. Steady, Master Peregrine. This is far enough. Unfurl the banner, let them see with whom they are dealing. Hearken to me. Gondor has come to your border with just grievances and fair demands. Send forth the Lord of the Black Land. Wrongfully he has made war upon Gondor and taken its lands. Let him come forth to answer for these crimes. Why isn't anything happening? Stay behind me, Master Halfling. As King of Gondor, I demand that Sauron come forth and atone for his evils. Someone comes. Is that the Dark Lord? No. Sauron will not leave his lands until his victory is assured. He sends a servant to us, a messenger only. Indeed, but we would be wise not to underestimate this messenger. The mouth of Sauron. He must be deep in the enemy's councils. I am the mouth of Sauron, and I speak for he who resides in the Dark Towers. I see none who have the authority to treat with me. Certainly not thou. I am not to be touched. I am protected as a herald. You have nothing to fear from us, messenger, until your errand is done. But if your master does not repent his evil, you will be imperiled indeed. We are surprised to see thee with this rabble, old graybeard. Dost thou not send others to their doom, hatching thy plots from a safe distance? I have tokens I was bidden to show thee if thou shouldst dare to come. Quiet, Peregrine. Black Lodge, see to him and tell him to hold his tongue. Black Lodge, surely you must recognize those items. That's Frodo's mail shirt, the one he had from Bilbo. The gray cloak has an elven brooch pinned to it, like the one I had from Lorien. And that's Sam's swords, or I'm a boffin. How did this terrible messenger come to have those items? What happened to Frodo and Sam? You silence Pippin with a look, but he is crestfallen and his outburst cannot be taken back. The mouth of Sauron smiles with cruelty and avarice. You have another one of these imps with you. I do not know what use you find in them. Sending them as spies into Mordor is foolish, even for you. But this imp does me a service, and I thank him for it. You cannot deny these tokens now, for he plainly has seen them before. I do not seek to deny them. I know all their history, which you do not. But why bring them here? Coat of the dwarves, cloak of the elves, blade of the fallen west. And spy from the Shire, home to rats. Aye, we know of it. He who bore these tokens might be dear to you, and he might not. But if you would grieve to lose him, I advise you to think most carefully. Sauron bears no love for spies. His fate will depend on your choice. Good. I can see he was dear to you. Or maybe his errand was one you did not want to fail. It has. Now, your little spy will suffer the worst torments the Dark Tower can devise. You'll never see him again, or perhaps he'll be released when he's broken. And he will come to you thus changed, and you will see what you have done. This is what will be, unless you accept my lord's terms. Name them. Gondor's rabble will withdraw beyond the river Anduin. They will take oaths to never again assail Sauron the Great or his subjects. All lands east of the Anduin will be Sauron's in perpetuity. Lands west of the Anduin will be subordinate to his will. So, yeah, these are ours, then those are ours too. The men of those lands will arrange their own affairs, but bear no weapons. They will help to rebuild Isengard, and Sauron's lieutenant will dwell there. He will rule over the remains of the West. This seems more like surrender than a negotiation. Nay, not Saruman. He speaks of himself. This is much to exchange for the delivery of one prisoner. Has Sauron's defeat on the field of battle so demoralized him now that he must haggle? Where is this prisoner? Deliver him to us and we will consider Sauron's terms. Insolence, you are in no position to make demands of Sauron. These are my terms. You will take them, or you will leave them. Black Lodge, I would speak with you. Steel your heart for the trials ahead. That Sauron has either Frodo or Samwise in captivity seems certain, but you must have noticed, as I have, that this messenger speaks of only one prisoner, not of two. And yet those items are unmistakable and were in the possession of both our hobbits. I do not want this vile messenger to keep them. I will distract him, and I want you to retrieve these items in memory of our friends. Now! Da-da-da! Oh, shit, I can't use it now. We take these items in memory of our friend. As for your terms, consider them utterly rejected. We did not come here to waste words with Sauron or with his slaves. Your protection as a herald is near its end, and death is close at hand for you. Now, be gone. Well spoken, my friend. Now we will see what answer Sauron will make. Oh shit. Now entering Battle of the Morannon.
Quest of the ring has failed, but we must not give in to despair.
Well, but did we know that? Like, I mean, obviously we know that because we know the stories, but like, Gandalf was saying, like, they only spoke of one quote, we don't know what's going on there. Don't give up hope. We must stand tall as we may, or Frodo and Sam will have gone to their doom for nothing. I will not allow this to be. The quest of the ring has failed, but we must not give in to despair, or we betray the men who fought alongside us. The day is dark. Let our blades and our hearts oppose the evils that would forever silence them and avenge our friends upon these foes.
This is where we will make our stand.
The Black Gate is opened, and the armories of Mordor stream forth from Sauron's land, seeking to put an end to those of us who vex him still. This is where we'll make our stand. Sauron's warriors have formed a ring around the Slag Hills. Fight them as they approach and keep them from advancing. Stand with our friends and allies and aid them as you can. We must hold out for as long as we are able. another person. Sorry, I didn't realize. I didn't mean to keep them up. I thought there was a symbol above their head for a reason. Okay, defeated enemies of the Moranon. Talk to Daravoon on the eastern edge of the battle. I feel bad. I didn't mean to. Warrior. Yeah, I thought there was a symbol over their head like that was a quest marker, but it was actually probably a rune keeper. Or something doing something, and I mistook it, so I feel bad. Maybe if I had floaty names on, I would have seen that as a player. Do not give in to fear, we will overcome these evils. If this is to be the last battle? Oh, is this to be the last battle? My heart tells me this is so, and though it is a sorrowful thing, I will be glad to see the end of wartime and to have rest. A palpable hit and another, I will find no joy in battle, my friend, but I find that I am uncommonly good at it, truly. I will use that skill to defend the men at my side until my last breath is stolen away by some lucky stroke. Fight onward, make our foes pay for the evils they have done, and hope to still do. More foes surge from the line. Now I'm gonna tell you, kill 4 and then kill 4 more, for some reason, feels better here than it did on the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. And I don't know if it's just because I was experiencing like technical glitches and I was watching, everybody looked like Minecraft blobs and, but here they, broke it up with like an inspiring bit of dialogue. So there's something that they're doing here that's working way better for me. Oh shit, look at those guys flying. Up a little. Deer. They seek to cow us with their numbers, but each of us is worth a dozen of their mindless thralls. My limbs are heavy and my breath is short, but I will do what I can to support Aragorn and my kinsmen. Fight on, fight on. Mighty Olog stride forth, bellowing with rage. Shit, here we go, signature. Light damage on, see if it makes any difference. I feel like if it's ever going to make a difference, the difference would be here. Zod.
Legolas tells me his supply of arrows will not last.
I see that you've already slain your share of orcs. Legolas has also cut an impressive swath, but he tells me his supply of arrows will not last. Perhaps you can help him with that. The battle has only just begun, but there is no need to worry about our respective tallies this time. There will be plenty of foes for us all. Let's talk to Legolas. I have enough arrows for the moment, but Gimli is right. My supply will soon run low if the tide of enemies does not slow. Many archers of Gondor and Rohan have already fallen to the arrows of Mordor. Some of their quivers remain full, or nearly so. Go to the archery lines and look for our fallen unfortunates. If you return to me with a number of their full quivers, I'll be able to maintain my current pace and continue to support Gimli with my bow. I thank you for this undertaking. For undertaking this helpful task, grim though it may seem. Collect 6 quivers. Thank you, my friend. Set the quivers at my feet, and I will use them as the need arises. You place the quivers of arrows at Legolas's feet, and he nods with satisfaction. But his eyes never leave the distant line of battle. I heard Aragorn shouting his commands from the top of the hill, Slag Hill to the southwest. Climb the hill and see if you can aid him. All right, Legolas, unleash hell. Lines falter at the western hill. We've held the line of battle for now, keeping our foes from ascending the eastern hill, but it seems that our foes have redoubled their efforts to take the western hill. We're hard-pressed and can spare no man, but someone must go to the western hill and keep it from being taken. Can you go to the aid of Imrahil with haste enough? I know you can. Fight your way to the slope of the western hill and help the Prince of Dol Amroth throw back the tide. The western Slag Hill comes under attack.
The fighting here goes poorly.
But with you here, my spirits are lifted. Don't worry about me. We are hard-pressed by our foes, but even so, they are unable to match us. I have the high ground for now, and that gives me the advantage. The flow of the battle pushed Éomer of Rohan further down the slope, and I fear he'll be cut off from the rest of his forces. Find him to the east, and ensure that he is safe. Oh yeah, he's gotten knocked back a bit. I will fight for as long as I must.
Those terrible flying creatures fall upon my feet and bear them aloft.
I welcome the concern of the Prince of Dol Amroth, but it is unnecessary. My own battle is well in hand. But I have another worry. The terrible flying creatures that carry the robed Nazgul on their backs. They fall upon my soldiers and bear them aloft with their clutching claws, and then they drop them to the battlefield below. There is no protection from this. The safety of my men is my prime concern, for many soldiers of Rohan are unhorsed, and such is not their preferred means of doing battle. Over the din of battle, I thought I heard Rohirric voices crying out in alarm. To the southwest. That is where you are needed, not here with me. Is this my time? Reeve Ingbert has been injured, and his foes press the attack. distract his foes, Ingbert manages to escape. I do not like the look of this.
I am glad to see you are still kicking.
I'm afraid I can't do very much among all these warriors, but I aim to do the best I can for Frodo and poor Sam. I miss Merry, but at least he is back in Minas Tirith and won't need to see this fighting. Not for today, at least. I don't expect I can draw level with some of his deeds, not unless I were to smite that horrible messenger. But that is all right. Careful. The beastly brood is out for blood.
Stay wary. Our foes have not depleted the stock of their sorceries.
The tide of the enemies is swelled, and soon it will crash back upon the shore of our shield wall. The tide will not draw back again until we are slain. I've taken upon myself to watch Peregrine the Halfling. He is a soldier of Gondor and now more a member of the Guard than I. It aggrieves my heart to think he might fall in this battle. I'll protect him if I can, both for his sake and that for my son, whose friendship he possesses. Stay wary. I wager our foes have not depleted the stock of their sorceries. Alright, so learn what has so distressed Thalanir on the slope of the western Slag Hill. To the west, a soldier of Gondor cries for help. Oh shit, there's the... I've lost my sword. I've slain a number of orcs, but the last one staggered away with my sword still stuck in his gut. Now I have no weapon. Can you find me a sword? There must be a blade somewhere at the base of the hill, abandoned or dropped by a coward or by a corpse. Without a weapon, I cannot do any good for Gondor, and I have no way to protect myself from the throng. More foes surge about the base of the hill. Sure where. Oh shit, look at that. And you've got the two little pockets here. And just everything. Nazgul, Haradrim, Easterling, Ologhai. The mouth of Sauron. Where's he? It's over there. The Pelennor field map never looked that grim. Pick up the sword and hope it will ease Tharanir's mind. Oh no. Oh no. Tharanir has gone beyond need of sword. He's been slain. You hear Eomer's voice above the din coming from atop the hill. That was too slow, it was too late. Pay no heed to my arm, I'm fine. I sustained an injury from an orc's lucky swing, and now my arm hangs loosely. I cannot lift up my shield. My men have fallen back a short distance, but they cannot stand long against the tide. They will soon need to retreat once more. I ask that you fight across to the eastern Slag Hill once again. If the battle is turning against us here, it must be going ill for Aragorn. Look for his friends, the elf and the dwarf. I saw them from afar, but could not tell how they fared. They will need you as the battle goes on. Orcs surge into the space between the two Slag Hills, thirsty for blood. fair try, monsters, but not good enough. All those quivers you brought me are spent. There's knife work to be done all around the hill, and plenty for all. I have this fight in hand, but I'm certain there will be enough foes for you to slay if you go looking for them, or wait for them to seek you out. Glad the flow of the battle has brought you to me. I want to speak with you again. You study the ranger's face and see little of the doubt that troubled him at the camp of the host. He seems curiously calm for one who stands amid such tumult. After battle was joined, I stood with Aragorn and felled orc after orc. Soon I lost count of the bodies, but there were ever more to replace them. With each swing of my blade, my sword lost its individuality. It was no longer my weapon only, but it was a weapon of every Dunedain that ever took up sword for his king. With every swing, it seemed to me I was conducting a great music, and the tides of battle moved through and around me in a great swelling chorus. It was a drowning tide, and it swept the foes of men beneath it, cleansing the land of their foul mark. I saw the great beauty of the land returning in full measure, the deep forests growing anew and the rivers flowing swift and clean. I saw twilight pools in the hills and the stars reflected in the mountain lakes, crisp and cool. My eyes were open to the vision of a new age, and though I saw it only for the span of a breath, I knew in that moment that Gwyneth had been right. Such a kingdom would be worth some measure of sorrow. She will see it, though she fade into myth. And men question whether she ever existed at all, but she will still be there, among the falls and waters of Lake Nenual, and she will remember. I am at peace, my friend. The evil of Sauron cannot last, even if every last one of us perishes before his gate. But let us hope that we do not. A new age is coming. Aragorn calls over to you, but you can barely hear him over the sound of the throng. How goes the fighting on the Western Hill? I trust that Éomer and Imrahil stand against the forces of Mordor. You tell Aragorn that they are still defiant, but injuries have begun to mount among their soldiers. So it is with us, but we fight on. It will not be long now, but we will stand until the end. The enemy lines have drawn back slightly, but it is only in preparation for their final push. Soon they will march inwards once more, tightening the noose around our position. We must be ready. Tell me when you're prepared and we will stand together to rebut them. Already the lines begin to push forward once again. Our foes make their final assault.
And so we come to it at last. The battle surges all around us, and our last stand begins.
My kinsmen and these others have cast back all the enemy's advances to this point. We must not fail.
We must rejoin the fight!
Do not give up. Remember. Calenglad coughs weakly, but he smiles despite the pain. From above, I saw a light. It cannot be quenched. The new age. Great shouting and clamor rises from the west. Remember, Gwyn. Berthon, no. Or there'll be no one left to carry on the fight. Follow me. We must find some archers. Thread the needle. Now is not the time. You should not have got in our way, wretches. See you, friend. Everything is darkness. I know I do not have long. Fight on, fight on. If there is a day to come after this, look to the people of Anfalas. Tell them their lord. You hear a scream from above. That was Pippin's voice. Find Pippin atop the western hill. You have found Baragon, but Pippin does not stand with him.
The halfling! He saved my life!
I was stunned and fell beneath the press of battle, but even as a great troll reached out to end my life, Peregrine stabbed it with his blade. He slew the beast, but it fell upon him, and I fear he's dead. Pippin does not move.
There is no end to this onslaught!
As long as we remain divided, we are weak. We must move as a group if we are to stand long. We must fight back to King Elisar before it's too late.
Be ready, their final assault! Stand tall, men of Gondor and Rohan! Stand tall, men of the North! You have fought well and bravely, my friends, but our time is nearly at its end. It has been an honor to fight alongside you. We must keep fighting until we no longer can. No one is coming to save us, for who could? We are on our own.
Even now at the end, I do not regret what we have done, or that for which we have fought. Let us stand together for a little while longer. I'm pleased to call you friend. Alright. Choose one. I'm gonna stick with might.
This may be Sauron's hour. We will make him earn it in blood.
And there we go. Book 8 of Volume 4 is done. As we get to... I'm going to accept this. The Battle of the Black Gate is nearly done. We must fight for as long as we can in memory of our friends and in defense of those endangered by Mordor. This may be Sauron's hour, but we will make him earn it with blood. All right. And that's where we'll pick it up next time. Yeah, battling at the Black Gate all seems lost. And, yeah. I'm very... Yeah, again, like I was saying, the Battle of the Pelennor Fields did not work super well for me at times. This is... And now I gotta say, like, if they were having, like, Minecraft blobs during this, it would have been such a heartbreak. Like, this is it. This is the culmination. So... yeah, and I feel like here they're knocking it out of the park. So, anyway, thanks again to everybody who checks this out. If you're watching this, thank you for you found our YouTube channel, and thank you for checking this out. Like, subscribe, notification bell if you want. We are mainly a tabletop RPG actual play channel. You can check out here for any of the systems we've done, or if you prefer audio versions of that kind of stuff, search for Black Lodge Trivia Night. Wherever you get your podcasts, we should show up. If you want to jump into the Discord, talk about RPGs and TRPGs, you know, that'd be great. But if not, no worries. And we will definitely be back with more Lord of the Rings Online as we near the end. Thanks again. Take care.